Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars, should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
Once again, you're tuned in to World Combat Sports. What's good, everyone? Salute. Big shout out to the supporters of the channel. Those of you that tune in each and every time you see the notifications, you already know. Much appreciated. One love, and keep on supporting the channel and sharing the content. And of course, pass the word, man. That's the only way. You know how word of mouth is. That's the only way it's going to reach from person to person. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the YouTube algorithm, you know what I'm saying? Tell a friend who know a friend who is a friend to someone. You feel me? So who better than on here and basically direct traffic? You know how I do. You know what I'm saying? Just like Young Buck said, let me break down the whole thing. Let me break down the whole thing. So we all know the situation, that the current state of mind we in when it comes to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence situation, right? Because the clock is ticking down. We're on a week where everything's supposed to implode. You know what I'm saying? The explosions, the fireworks, you know what I'm saying? The light cast, pyros. This is supposed to be the week, y'all. This has been designated by the YouTube posers. If you look at my thumbnail, the question mark posers has placed this week and say, this is when everything's supposed to happen. This is when everything's supposed to go down. We're supposed to hear the information. Everything's supposed to come to a climactic closure. You know what I'm saying? This is when the announcement supposed to be made official on the first part of next week. But this week right here, supposed to be when all the ink is dried and we can just put this to pasture. And then, you know, the question mark posers come up with new content and conspiracy theories as to how the fight was made, what both fighters are getting, how many potential ticket sales it'll be, where the venue is going to be, who's going, who's not going, who's going to win, and how. You know what I'm saying? Look, this shit is never going to stop, people. Look, I'm not trying to be that person that's very garrulous when it comes to this boxing shit, right? But I have every right to be analytical and come on here and speak about what I think I'm processing. What I'm looking at, what I'm listening to, I'm processing. So Brian Custer, the Last Stand Podcast, shout out to the OG himself, multifaceted Brian Custer, one of the coolest in the game. You know what I'm saying? One of the coolest and underrated commentators in the game, shawty. He did an interview with Danny Garcia. Unfortunately, and no disrespect to Danny Garcia, you know, I support Danny Garcia, cool dude. But at any point in time during this week, when you have a top tier name like Danny Garcia that's on the Last Stand Podcast, Brian Custer is definitely going to ask the question about Danny Garcia's upcoming fight, and he's going to ask a question about a fighter he's been in the ring with. You know what I'm saying? Not Terrence Crawford in the professional ranks. Okay, he's been in the ring with Errol Spence, but of course Brian Custer asked him about the amateur, the amateur bout that transpired between him and Bud. But we have yet to see Danny Garcia step in the ring with Bud Crawford in the professional ranks. So we all know the collage was somehow going to come together when the topic was mentioned with Brian Custer interviewing Danny Garcia with his upcoming fight against Jose Benavidez. We know this shit was going to happen. Now, myself, I was hoping that it wasn't too much information given to kind of sway these individuals that's anxious for anything. You know what I'm saying? The catfish of YouTube. The catfish see any type of particles in the water and they just eat anything. Bottom feeders, right? Anything Brian Custer might have said, they're gonna run with it, threw up the thumbnail. Oh my God, Brian Custer. He said this about the fight. And it happened. All right. It's no fault of Brian Custer. It's no fault of Brian Custer, but I was looking. I was listening. And notice, I didn't say anything. I let the interview run its course. I didn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't say anything. Because I'm just sitting back admiring how, the community here on social media, they will grab hold of the words. And me, I'm here to just itemize it and break it down just a little bit more than what certain people would. So let's listen to the audio of what Brian Custer said that you're going to hear a lot of people running with on YouTube. It's already out there. So let's listen. Please, just pay attention. My intelligent people, attention.
Listen, your perspective on this is great. And I can't wait to hear your perspective on this because you've been in the ring with him. Now, he's agreed to fight Bud Crawford. That it looks like it's going to go down in October.
Did y'all hear that? The little subtleties, the little sprinkles. Did y'all hear what he just said? I mean, I know y'all heard what he just said, right? This is serious. This is serious. Look, I'm asking you all to listen because language is important. We don't need a dragamon over here to explain to grown adults for the interpretation of what we just heard. We don't need that shit. Did you hear what Brian Custer just said? Let me run it back right quick. Let me run it back.
He's agreed to fight Bud Crawford.
Hold on for a second. Let me just hit it a third time because the simulation, when it comes to numerics, right, in life, they say 3 times a charm. You know what I'm saying? They say 3 times a charm. So let me run it back a third time before I address it.
To hear your perspective on this because you've been in the ring with him. Now, he's agreed to fight Bud Crawford. That it looks like it's going to go down in October.
Okay. All right. So they popped the hatch. Brian Custer popped the hatch. And he dropped some information. Pulled the ripcord, boom. That shit is coming from the sky and descending at a high rate of speed. And the landing zone has hit YouTube, right? So he said Errol Spence has agreed to fight Terrence Crawford. That's what I heard. And it's going down sometime in October. Okay. So let's take the first half of that. Errol Spence has agreed to face Terrence Crawford. I don't believe in simulation. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's what we operate off of. So let me just run it back one more time for y'all.
For your perspective on this because you've been in the ring with him. Now, he's agreed to fight Bud Crawford. That it looks like it's going to go down in October.
So Errol Spence has agreed to fight Bud Crawford when the narrative has been drugged, just drugged through the YouTube streets. Whack it, just back and forth. You know what I'm saying? It has been gnawed on. It has been goddamn put in a situation where it's now contaminated. The subject of this fight is contaminated. It's just been in too many areas where the degree of pollution was just too much. And then, for people to say, I'm going to stay away from that. I can smell it from over here. I'm going to stay away from that topic. He said Errol Spence has agreed to face Terrence Crawford. How is that possible? Because I'm hearing these segues out here from the Spencerholics. They was just been saying for weeks upon weeks upon weeks that Terrence Crawford was the reason the fight was being held up. Terrence Crawford was the reason why the fight wasn't happening. Terrence Crawford was the reason the fight wasn't signed. Terrence Crawford was the reason everything wasn't where it's supposed to be for these Spencerholic channels to run with the fucking narrative. It was all Bud Crawford's fault. So why would Brian Custer lead with Errol Spence agreeing to fight Bud Crawford? Why would he lead? Why wouldn't he lead with Terrence Crawford and say, hey, Terrence Crawford has finally agreed to face Errol Spence? Why wouldn't Brian Custer lead with the name of Bud Crawford other than Errol Spence? Because the narrative that's been out here, just frolicking, mongering in the YouTube streets, in the back alleys, you know what I'm saying? The basements. This narrative has been pushed so many times in the YouTube street, man. It has been treated so unfairly. You said Terrence Crawford was the reason, but Brian Custer said Errol Spence has finally agreed. What was the holdup, though? Let me get to some of y'all in the chat. Shout out to King Mitch, Mr. Pads. What's good with you? So, okay. So let me go back. Some people saying the volume is too low. Let me go back once again, hit the replay. Because they're saying the volume too low. Appreciate the info.
Great. I can't wait to hear your perspective on this because you've been in the ring with Errol. Now, he's agreed to fight Bud Crawford. That it looks like it's going to go down in October. On this is great. And I can't wait to hear your perspective on this because you've been in the ring with Errol. Now, he's agreed to fight Bud Crawford. That it looks like it's going to go down in October.
So back to what I was saying, okay? Back to what I was saying about why did Brian Custer lead with Errol Spence agreeing to fight Terrence Crawford, right? So therefore, if Terrence Crawford was the obstacle, roadblock, the one that was impeding the finalization of this deal, why did Brian Custer lead with Errol Spence finally agreeing? What was the reasons behind Errol Spence taking so long to agree to the fight? I have questions that I need answers to. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not going to get those from everybody in the live chat, but I just want to have that understanding that if Brian Custer say Errol Spence has agreed, what was the holdup? Why was Errol Spence so apprehensive about agreeing to fight Terrence Crawford? Did he truly want the fight? Did he truly want the fight? What was the reason? So you cannot flip this shit, you know what I'm saying, like a pancake and say, look, well, on this side, Terrence Bud Crawford was being he was being difficult, okay? What we were saying out here in the YouTube street, he should just go with the PBC and just lay out. Just lay face down, and just take whatever punishment he has. And then when they pick him up and say, you know what, brother? Now you understand what we have to go through over here. Sorry we had to take you through that initiation, but welcome to PBC. All right? Now let's go to the negotiation table and make this fight happen. No. Hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What was Bud Crawford doing? If y'all gonna flip the pancake and y'all gonna say, well, the reason why Errol Spence took so long because Terrence Crawford being difficult. So how all of a sudden we finding out that Errol Spence was the underlining denominator into agreeing to the fight? Did he not get the numbers that he wanted? Because I'm not in negotiation. Like Letitia Crawford said, you know what I'm saying? Like Letitia put out there, hey, y'all act like y'all in negotiations. I don't want to act like I'm in negotiations. I don't want to be a part of some monetary conversation that I have no part of. Like I really have no physical presence there. So since I don't have no physical presence, I did hear Brian Custer said Errol has finally agreed. So since that is the case, right? And people are jumping on the wagon, right? Even though it has 3 wheels, and out of those 3, one of them are square, they're jumping on this bandwagon and saying that the fight may be potentially done. But did you listen to what Brian Custer said? Listen, because people act like English is their third language.
To hear your perspective on this, because you've been in the ring with Errol. Now, he's agreed to fight Bud Crawford. That looks like it's going to go down in October.
He said it looks like it's going to go down. It looked like it's going to go down in October. It looked like it's going to go down in October. He didn't say it was going down in October. It looks. Do you want me to break down what looks mean? I'm not talking to you in the live chat. I'm just speaking to the masses that may be tuned in. Do you want me to break down what looks mean? Looks doesn't define something that has confirmation. It's just giving you a spread to say this is the scope of it, okay? And the scope is up to your interpretation. That's what looks mean. Looks is we just giving you this range of interpretation. You can take what you want. When somebody would have said, if Brian Custer would have said, the fight is happening, the fight is going down in October, is pretty much condenses the conclusion of interpretation. It leaves very minimal doubt. Is basically minimized from what he said from looks to a shorter version, a shorter range, and a shorter scope of understanding. That means it is being defined as happening, not doubt. You know what I'm saying? Not doubt. It is defined as happening. The confirmation is assured and is certain that it's going down in October. Brian Custer said it looks like it's going to be in October. He doesn't have no definitive information if that is the exact month of the fight. But back to the Spencerholics. I'm just trying to understand the reasoning behind Errol Spence finally agreeing to face Terrence Crawford. Because to me, it just seems like there might have been some, whatever it was, that he didn't want to, he wasn't willing and able to face Terrence Crawford for whatever the reason was. I don't believe Errol Spence is fearful of facing Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it like, what was the numbers really like behind the scene that was presented to Terrence Crawford? What did the term sheet really look like? What was truly going on behind the scenes? Because everybody was like trying to say that now that Errol Spence has all the 3 belts, he's clearly the A side. He did all the heavy lifting. He put butts in the seats with the help of Jerry Jones. He put butts in the seats. They was just goddamn praising this dude to the high heavens, right? But then when it comes to Crawford, it's almost like he deserves crumbs. He should scavenge. He should go out there in the fields and work, for his pay. He should work for those 2 to 3 cents that he deserves if he faces Errol Spence. I'm serious. I'm not exacerbating this and trying to be facetious at all. I'm just telling y'all that why was the fight being finally accepted by Errol Spence? when you all was out here saying that Bud Crawford was the one holding up the fight, dog? What was being agreed upon? What was being agreed upon? Was it Errol Spence wanting a certain amount of money? Was it Terrence Crawford wanting a certain amount of money? In the end, I did not hear Brian Custer saying, you know what? Terrence Crawford has finally agreed on the fight. I heard Errol Spence. And when I hear his name first, all I am, I'm just asking questions for my own benefit. I say, okay, why was he holding up the fight? Because Brian mentioned Spence's name first. But yet on YouTube, all I hear is Crawford, Crawford, Crawford. But now we hear from a credible source who is now working as a prominent entity in Showtime. He is a reputable voice in Showtime. He said that Errol Spence has finally agreed. And it's looking like the fight's going to be in October. It's looking. What's going on, everybody on deck, man? Pads, what's good? My fault. His mic is kind of low. You know what I'm saying? Bailey on deck. What's good? Custer lead with he has agreed because they were talking about Spence. Okay, Mitch, my brother. He said, I want to get your perspective on this.
Listen, your perspective on this is great, and I can't wait to hear your perspective on this because you've been in the ring with Errol. Now, he's agreed to fight Bud Crawford. That it looks like it's going to go down in October.
Now, Mitch, NOW, Mitch. I'm not going to talk to you slow. I don't want to disrespect you, bro. But I'm just in my moment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just speaking. Now, NOW. Now he's agreed to face Bud Crawford. Now, once again, let's not act like we already identified the C blind. Let's not go to the hear death. For real. We identified the C blind. Let's not go to the hear death.
Can't wait to hear your perspective on this because you've been in the ring with Errol. Now, he's agreed to fight Bud Crawford.
Now he's agreed to face the fight Bud Crawford. Now he agreed to fight Bud Crawford. What does it matter if his name was the topic? He could have very well said, now that Terrence Crawford has agreed to face Errol Spence, looking like the fight will be October. Looking like the fight is going to be October. Come on, man. Come on. I know you understand that, Mitch. You know what I'm saying? You can't just act like you didn't hear what he said. Now, he mentioned Errol Spence. Fight not happening on all these fake new channels and question mark titles. Hey, all I'm saying is I'm just identifying what I see out here, Trap. That's my whole time. That's my whole thing with the thumbnail. The question mark posers are running rapid with their titles on YouTube. I think they do it more now because I speak on it. I'm the only one that ever mentioned the question mark effect. All right? The question mark posers for title attention, for them to build up a traction, for people to click that and give them that view. Why? Why put a thumbnail up with something? Look, let me I know this is going to irritate some people, right? But one question mark doesn't mean any less than 4 question marks. What it does is just bring in the question of the person who was actually inserting those extra question marks as if they had more power or more of a determining factor than the first question mark. All of them mean the same. All of the question marks, a single question mark up to 4, 5, 6, 7 question marks. They all mean the same. They didn't do anything for quicks and line, pull their skirts. Now check this out though. With everything that's been going on with this topic, I'm not sure how we can sit up here and blame Bud Crawford anymore of accepting the fight, of him being delayed for accepting the fight. How can we blame him anymore? And Brian Custer said, now he's agreed. Now he's agreed. Is it that Bud Crawford, did he lower his numbers? You know what I'm saying? To the point where it benefited Errol Spence. Say, okay, cool. Because if that's the case, that Errol Spence was refusing to take the numbers or whatever the offer was, or the negotiation that was going on with Crawford, then he would still be held liable for holding up the fight, because he wasn't trying to agree to what Terrence Crawford wanted. You just can't say Terrence Crawford wanted to come in here and negotiate, you know what I'm saying, to the point where it wasn't anything just impulsive or reckless, and that was holding up the fight. Brian Custer said, now that Errol has agreed, what was the holdup? What is the space during this negotiation process that was delaying the final or whatever, if it's been finalized? Because Brian Custer made it seem like that the fight has now been agreed upon. Let me take it a step further. Listen to what Brian Custer said again.
To hear your perspective on this, because you've been in the ring with Errol. Now, he's agreed to fight Bud Crawford.
Now, let me break some other shit down. Brian Custer said agreed. What does agree mean? There's a lot of fighters that's been in the titles of these articles, and they say so and so has agreed, and then you let some weeks go by and we don't hear anything else about it, but they agreed. We can agree on something in life for an appointment. We agree to make this appointment, and then we fail to show up. But we agreed on the appointment, but we fail to show up. So just because Brian Custer is saying that it's been agreed upon doesn't make it any more cut and dry and consummated that it's finalized and it's done. He's just saying it's agreed. That doesn't mean they don't have any more specifics that's going on, any fine details that they have to hash out. That doesn't mean. It's just saying, okay, he agreed to face Crawford, but we need something else that tells us that this is finalized. If you all are out here interpreting of what Brian Custer said to be a final cut, then you enjoy this. You enjoy the deceptive part of reporting on this particular topic. Because well as I do, once again, if I was to sit up here and question your comprehension as to what he said and what the language means, then it would be an argument. You get upset and everything else. He said agreed. What word are we looking for in this specific fight to basically give us a warm and fuzzy that is done? Signed. I don't want to hear nothing about no agreed. I don't want to hear none of that, because in talks, agreed, handshake means absolutely nothing, because we've seen that shit play out with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. They shook hands. They have agreed. All along, Deontay Wilder's in arbitration, knowing damn well the arbitration supersedes and have seniority over anything that Eddie Hearns out here is putting out to the media about. Oh, it's going down in August. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua for undisputed. It's going down. It's going down, people. And then Deontay Wilder comes out of arbitration. They fight a trilogy. Eddie Hearns said Fury and Joshua had agreed on the fight. And I'm telling you, Brian Custer just said the same thing for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence agreed to fight Terrence Crawford. That doesn't mean the fight is signed, people. Come on, man. Why y'all sitting up here just stepping on this shit every chance you get, just stepping on it? You act like you have to put your stamp of approval and then sit up here and put misleading thumbnails and try to explain when they actually click on it and hear what you have to say. And then they sitting up there like, they disappointed. You know, they sitting up there pouting. That doesn't give me, that just still leaves an open space in my heart about this conversation. Like, that doesn't tell me that the fight has been made, shouty. Agreed. It's not telling me that the fight has been made. It's just that they have agreed on something. Now, if Brian Custer would have said the fight, Errol has signed to fight Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence has signed to face Terrence Crawford. Then that perception to me is a bit sweeter. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit sweeter. When I digest that, I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I got my sugar hit. I'm saying good. I feel good about this because he said sign. Brian Custer is a reputable source of information. So when he said the fight has been signed, I'm looking at it like, okay, he's a single source, which is reputable, and we can give him credit for validation. And then I'm going to second check my site and sources on Twitter, Google, everything else to basically see if anybody else is reciprocating the same information Brian Custer just put out. That's what I'm going to do. You feel me? That's what I'm going to do. I hear Custer mention it. Now I'm going out here to see if anybody else is out here reciprocating the same information. Once I'm able to retrieve a second and a third source, then I'll probably speak on it because I have more than one source to speak on. But this one video, the only reason I'm speaking on it is because people are going to run rampant and say the fight is done all over. I'm done and over, when I'm telling you, that's not what I got from this. I didn't get that from Brian Custer. He said agreed. Grown ass men and women now. Come on, bro. Like, goddamn. It doesn't take that much of understanding to understand what agreed mean. We can agree to do a lot of stuff. That doesn't mean we're going to follow through with it. We agree to do this. We agree to do that. That doesn't mean we're going to follow through and make it happen. People make bets every day. Oh, we agree? Okay, we agree. They lose the bet. The cats disappear. They look, they take on a whole nother identity, knowing they owe you money. Look, knowing they owe you money, dog. They changed their title and everything, bro. But we agreed on the bet. We agreed. And then they don't pay up. But we agreed, though. So my point to you is, when you hear the word agreed, it leaves that little fracture in between, because it's not fully, it's like bone marrow. It's not fully healed yet, because this topic is fractured. You know what I'm saying? It's not fully healed yet. So in order for us to get that full binding agreement, we need to hear signed. We need to hear signed, man. So moving to the second half, looking. What does looking mean? I don't have to tell you, because the English language, you know, Latin descent, right? The English language, the interpretation is different for everybody. It's according to how much vigor they have in believing what they want to believe. If a person is dead set on believing and all they want, it's just like when I tell people when they looking at a fight, right? And they're just zoned in on their favorite fighter. That fight can go from the first round to the 12th round, and they're gonna say, you know what, so-and-so won. No, I didn't see that. No, I did. So-and-so, I saw this, and this, and this. They was looking at the entire fight of the entire fight. They was looking and hoping that that particular fighter continues to have success in the fight. They're not really looking at what the other fighter is doing. So when the results at the final bell, if it makes it, or the conclusion of the fight, they're gonna look at it like, I think my fighter won, because they was pretty much zoned in on that. That's the same thing when I say looking. So many people have heard October, October, October. Okay, all I'm saying is I don't see anything out there. I'm not saying it's impossible to be in October. I just haven't seen anything out there that's confirming that this fight is going to be in Vegas in October. And where's the venue at? That's all I want to know, bro. I'm not saying it's impossible. This fight is not happening in October. When y'all see these people, putting this information out there, block their ass, man. You know what I'm saying? When people be spamming the chat like that, it's all good. I'll remove it. It's all good. Wrenches, make it difficult for these people to come in the chat and be stupid. Let me go through here and remove this. All right, back to the task at hand. They do anything for clicks. Line YouTube hoes pull their skirts. Andrew Charles on deck. What's good? What's good? Custer didn't say they agreed and shit. He said now Spence has agreed. That even proves my point anymore. Like, even more. Spence has agreed. Spence has agreed. Does that mean both parties have signed? We're really gonna look. We're gonna play language semantics, right? We're gonna sit up here and nitpick and not identify that agreed has no confirmation attached to it. An agreement is just like a handshake. People handshake all the time and break that shit all the time because it's nothing that it says. Okay, to some people, it's no honor in that. We just had a handshake. We didn't do no paperwork and document. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no documentation or paperwork. We just did a handshake. And then we can even take it a step further. A handshake and a verbal agreement sometimes blend itself in together on people honoring it as legitimate. You know what I'm saying? People verbal agree on somebody. Okay, what do the verbal agreement mean? Has it been a handshake while Terrence Crawford was in Texas? Was it a handshake or was it a verbal agreement? What does an agreement mean when it comes to signing documents for one of the biggest fights in boxing? What does an agreement mean? What does an agreement mean, bro? Where's the paperwork? Since we're not in attendance, nor are we on the team handling the administrative process of this fight, how can we sit up here and act like agreed is signed? It's confirmed. Agreed doesn't bring us to that point of conclusion, period. It doesn't, Mitch. It doesn't bring us to that point of conclusion, bro. It doesn't. Listen, with me, what's going on, Ben? He said maybe that was just a hint that the fight would be announced soon. With me, I've learned that you don't really assume with certain people, even though we live in an era where a lot of people assume, like, real talk, it's a lot of assumptions going on with this social media shit. You know what I'm saying? Assumptions lead to disappointment. Seriously. So you have to get some confirmation. The only way you're going to get some confirmation is ask the question. Ask the question point blank. Ask the question on what you're trying to find out. We're talking grown people who have experience behind the mic, who are prominent role players out here. They have experience, man. These people have experience. It ain't no a hint. If individuals are hinting on a platform this large and they know they have a massive following, millions, and they're hinting, it shouldn't mean anything to us because we're grown adults. Maybe to a child who just started, tuning in the boxing and they're pretty much a tyro at this. To them, a hint may have them running out and say, "Hey, man, hey, you heard about that fight? They hinted that there might be sign." No, we don't do that as adults. You know what I'm saying? We just don't do that, bro. We don't run off hints. A hint has very little credibility to it when it comes to interpretation. I'm just saying, man, a hint does nothing for me. Because somebody can hint something and their entire motive behind the hint is pure deception. But long as they have some gullible individual standing and their target is lined up and they hint to you, hey, guess what? I think it's going to happen. I think it's already done. What you mean? You know what we was talking about. Hint. Oh, okay. And you don't hear shit about it. Motherfuckers just playing with your emotions. Smokey. I'm just saying. I don't believe Custer slipped up and announced some shit unauthorized. That October shit has been floating around. That's why he said it looks like. I can agree with you on that, Mitch. Check the box. You know what I'm saying? I can agree with you on that. But one thing I do know, when Timothy Smith came out with that information, I almost guarantee you that him and Al Heyman had a conversation. He wouldn't just say, you know what? Let me go talk to the media right quick. No. He went through an entire liaison, got the green light, and went out here and spoke to the masses. He just didn't come up with that. And it was on his mind because he had a long sleepless night. And he said, you know what? Tomorrow, man, I'm going to go up here and talk to the media and tell them some shit, man. We just don't want to insult Bud. It didn't go down like that. And I'm going to tell you, Brian Custer is an intelligent human being when it comes to commentating and putting out information. Very educated. This man is a multifaceted in different sports he speak on. For him to say Errol Spence has agreed and is looking, he has that small window or space where he separates himself from liability in saying that the fight has been signed. Like I always say, the question mark separates these individuals from saying something has happened or something has already concluded. It's been consummated. The game is, once you read that, we live in a society of skimmers. We see people look at a title and they just boom, take a snapshot and they click on it. All they see is the first half. Now, some people say, that's smart of them to do that, to continue to puppetize their audience. That's smart of them. They put the title up there and then put a question mark on the end of it. That's smart. Because now they continue to hope that those same readers or those same skimmers just glimpse and take a snapshot and then they click on and then they listen. They got the view they was looking for. You know what I'm saying? Or, if the person liked it, they hit the like button. Because look, in this society, we have individuals that's extremely gullible to shit like that. You can continue to use and abuse the question mark because it displaces you from taking full accountability for saying something is done, especially on this topic, and it's not. I'm just being as honest and sincere as I can. I'm not trying to, be no ground force unit of here in YouTube streets. I'm just telling you how my thought process is when it comes to language. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say. Agreed and looking does not solidify anything. All it does is molest your perception to think otherwise. If you want it to be sealed, you're going to speak on it because you're eager, you anxious for it to be sealed. If the shit isn't, it doesn't give you that consignment, then you shouldn't act like it's sold. Stop acting like shit is sold all the time. You going out here trying to say it's been sold, it's done. That's not the case, man. Unlike a few people, I believe the fight happens in 22. All right. Okay. What's going on, Knockout Boxing 86 TV on deck? What's good, Knockout? So now we're criticizing people that are optimistic because of Custer's comments. Letitia Crawford also said, don't ask for interviews come fight week. We should all be excited, should we not? Now, let's look into what I'm saying, right? I don't consider my comments criticism. I'm doing what a lot of other people do on YouTube. All I'm doing is taking my accessibility and I'm providing my opinion about what I'm talking about my topic. That's it. Now, when you're talking about criticizing people, you have to put a name to people, because people is an open-ended comment. No, tighten it up a little bit, tighten that knot, be more specific as to what you're talking about. Because I'm treating the listeners as adults, they'll knock out. I'm not treating it like we in middle school. I can communicate and I can declare and specify shit that it can be to the T, that it won't be no type of hesitation as to what I mean. It won't be no type of indication that I'm not sure about what you're talking about. I'm not sure. But you coming here talking about criticizing people. How am I criticizing people? What people are you saying? The layer of social media is an open-ended platform where people say and talk about what they want, bro. So if Letitia Crawford said what she said, and she said, ask for interviews come fight week, that still doesn't mean the fight is signed. That doesn't mean the fight is signed. That's saying that when the fight comes to that point, don't come asking for interviews. You know what I'm saying? Whenever that is. She didn't give no clarification as the fight is signed. She just said what she said in this particular text. I mean, tweet. That's all she said. She said, watch, every last one of them is going to be trying to get an interview come fight week. That's all. She didn't say a date. She didn't say that the fight was done. It may be something that's out on the horizon, and all she's doing is forecasting something that she don't agree with. She's just saying, hey, don't come up here and ask for no interviews, or y'all gonna want interviews on fight week. That's all. It's no criticism. It's just opinions. Check this out. You have to understand when you talk about somebody criticizing somebody, you have to tread carefully on criticizing people, and you're not basically underlining names to that. It's people all over. What people are you talking about? If a name is not attached to what I'm saying, just consider it an open-ended live stream where I'm speaking on something. I'm providing my opinion and assessment. That's all. That's all it should be considered. It's content. Just like a question mark is abused. You know what I'm saying? We can't even call that shit domestic violence. We can't. That's homicide. You know what I'm saying? That's a homicide. The way the question mark is abused on YouTube is absolute homicide. They're killing the narratives out here, dog, with the question mark. Because we live in an environment where people just take a snapshot, boom, and they don't even read from left to right, bro. They don't even read from left to right, the full thing more than once. They just see the first half, click, and they take it from there. I just don't believe in that, really. I don't believe in luring someone into a topic when it's absolutely different than what's actually going on in reality. The reality is this fight hasn't been signed. If it is, please come out with the information. According to Custer, at least one fighter has agreed. One fighter isn't two fighter, Mitch. We're not going into the numeric semantics. You know what I'm saying? 1 subtract 2 equals 1, right? 2 subtract 1 equals 1, right? You know what I'm saying? If one fighter has agreed, we're waiting on if the information is ever going to present itself. We're waiting on to hear that Terrence Crawford has agreed, because that's just one side of it. That's one party who has agreed. Agreed doesn't mean anything except Terrence Crawford has agreed to fight Terrence. Errol has agreed to fight Terrence, but that doesn't mean that they're not in negotiations. He just said, right now I picked up the WBA belt from Udenis Ugas, and I have agreed to face Terrence Crawford because he has the last belt, like Canelo Alvarez agreed to face Caleb Plant, but the negotiations fell through and they end up fighting at a later date. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all, man. Then they say, then Caleb say, "Oh, we agreed to everything they want. We agreed to everything Canelo wanted," and the fight still didn't happen. And then they came back and the fight happened at a later date. This is the same circumstance I'm trying and am presenting to you all. Agreement means absolutely nothing. Signed, sealed, final means everything. Too many fans think they're promoters these days. I totally agree, man. A lot of fans do believe that they're close. Look, they're closely associated with the team, and they absolutely have zero say so in the matter. Zero, y'all. We have zero effect on the conclusion of these negotiations going on between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Zero, y'all. Zero. Zilch. Nada. None. We have zero. But yet, when it comes to YouTube, people are going to sit up here and pretend like, you know what? Because of us, this fight happened. Bullshit. Because of us. And the 30,000, lives that we did on this fight for free. For free. Because the promotion ain't paying y'all the amount of money. Those of you that's in bed with the promotion, you're still not getting paid what you worth for the amount of hours that you put in talk about a specific fighter. That's absolutely facts. It might not sit well with you, but that's absolutely facts, man. Lopes or clickbaiters, their vids when they ain't privy to anything. I have to agree on that. You know what I'm saying? Even with all sources that work for the promotions, they have what is considered a internal like gag order, censorship. They can hear stuff and they can be a part of something that's internal to the promotion, right? About something that's going to happen down the road. And those individuals are the ones that's in the room. It may be, let's go with a number, 5. It might be 5 individuals on there. And they're talking and they're going through the process of this might happen and that might happen. They say, don't put this out at all. You all are the 5 that's in this room that only knows about this. Don't put the information out. And those individuals, I've seen it for myself. I've spoken to the individuals that's promotions and they know about shit. They will not put it out. You know why? Because if it's on the telephone and you're talking to an untrusted individual on the distant end and that person records you and choose to say, "Oh, let me leak this," you're done. You're done, shawty. This is maybe in the chat, man. The real Larry. Man, I know bitch gonna be there enforcing this. I know it was only a matter of time, dog. It's funny you said that. I said it's only a matter of time, man. D-Ray Promotions on deck. What's good with it, D-Ray? all that dumb shit Tim Smith was talking means nothing when the fight is made. Hey, Mitch, you on something else today, man. You can't sit up here and act like you just don't understand. You get it. Look, we can agree. Look, we can agree it was dumb shit. But the dumb shit he was saying represents the promotion that he's working with at the time. You can't call it just dumb shit when it involves one of the biggest fight in boxing right here. He pretty much downplaying the fact that the fight won't happen and they don't have the money and they don't want to insult Terrence Crawford. It ain't dumb shit, bro. It ain't dumb shit just because you say it is. Same goes for OG said when he mentioned the fight wasn't lucrative. See, I think that went over your head. That went over your head. The OG said the fight wasn't lucrative for the PBC or Stephen F. Espinosa Showtime to put up the money because they know deep down inside they don't have the numbers to go off of to fully invest in a fight of this magnitude where both fighters aren't global stars, so to speak. The fight isn't lucrative to the promoters and the investors like it would be with Canelo and Maul Charlo and Errol Spence and David Benavidez. See, they felt that it was lucrative because Canelo is established. He's guaranteed to bring in the viewership, and that's why they felt that, that he's a lucrative fighter because he's a cash cow. For Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, we don't need to go down that road over and over again. We know it's gravel. We know if you walk on it barefooted, the shit gonna hurt. Why continue to travel down the road and act like you didn't understand what the OG was saying? He was telling you that when it comes to the promotion and the network, it's not lucrative enough for them to put their money up for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford off the strength of what Terrence Crawford may want and Errol Spence may want. You think these people at the promotions go in their own pocket? I mean, they have sponsorships, man. They have, the money coming in. They're not digging into their bank account like that. Regardless if Bob Arum say he lost enough money to buy a house in Beverly Hills, he might be talking about money that he was looking to recoup from a fight, not actual money. He might be talking about money that he didn't gain off a fight. Not so much to the fact that he lost it physically. It all depends on what the arrangement was. Man, you need to leave that alone because that just went over your head, Mitch. For real. I think the Spence, look, if they fight this year, it doesn't mean it's lucrative, bro. It means that they're willing somehow, some way to make phone calls and try to talk to the fighters in order for them to have a reasonable price point that they can put the money up for, man. They ain't, just because they fight this week doesn't mean it still isn't lucrative. The fighters may not be getting what they really want for this fight. Because you done heard it over and over again. People talking about, how many butts Bud put in the seats and how many butts Jerry Jones bought for Errol Spence. So you take the numbers because these people behind the scenes, this is the realist. This is the realism of it, right? The individuals that's behind the scene that's making everything move and rotate, they know the true numbers. They know the motherfucking true numbers. They know the true numbers. They'll put out inflated numbers to us because they really don't care. They'll pull out inflated numbers. Errol Spence did 375, 400,000, 500,000. Mikey Garcia, 800. The numbers just keep on fluctuating according to what you read. They don't care. But internal to the company, they know the true numbers. They know the pluses and the minuses, man. They know the true numbers. So when the fight isn't lucrative, they're looking at what the true core numbers are behind the scenes, the raw numbers, and they're saying, okay, this is what we can afford for this fight. This is what we can afford. Because when it comes to pay-per-view, we really don't have, what we can reference the numbers off of. We don't have averages. You know what I'm saying? We don't have averages. We need paperwork. We need something that we can reference to the other so we can come up with an average, and then we can kind of present the allocated seats on what we're trying to do in Vegas and then put it out to the public. Boom. Put this venue out, the date, ticket prices, and let's go from there. That's what he meant by not being lucrative, bro. Mexican pay. Let's take the glove off. And they were going to cut the check for Saul because his people understand. See, I agree with you that on Trap. I agree with you on that. I understand support is real life, not just clicks on YouTube like most of. I totally agree with what you just mentioned. Well said. Because we cannot forget these are two black fighters, bro. These are two black fighters, even though they're popular on YouTube. When people see Canelo Alvarez, there's a difference between people seeing Spence and Crawford per se. Because I'm going to be honest, Crawford has not a care in the world about having security around him. He just cut from that cloth. Crawford don't care. Like Crawford, you might find him with, sometimes he's heavy, depending on where he at. He have his peoples there, he heavy. And then sometimes you'll see him walking out by himself, man. Nobody with him. Canelo, I don't think that's the case. I don't think you're going to see Canelo out on the streets of NYC just walking up the block and nobody is trying to get a picture and nobody's trying to damn holler at old boy. Cinnamon from across the street. What up? You out here? I guarantee you that same person that just said Cinnamon, they're going to run across that motherfucking traffic. Hey, Cinnamon, all respect. Can I just get a picture? They're going to try to get that picture, dog. Especially if Canelo's walking up the block in his silk pajamas. You know what I'm saying? If he got his Versace, people going to want to get close to Canelo, man. Look, take for instance, perfect example, right? How the separation from YouTube, the amount of work that we put in on YouTube to boost these guys up. I'm not saying the information isn't distributed out to the lay of the land. I'm not saying it doesn't make its rounds and it doesn't cover space. You know what I'm saying? It covers space in the information world. It covers space. IPs, man, they're so crucial to communication. You're talking to somebody who's IT. You know what I'm saying? I did all that shit. I used to then troubleshoot databases. I know it's hard for people to understand or think I was one, but yeah, I just wasn't a geek. I just didn't want to sit there and be around all the people that wanted to just eat ho-hos and Twinkies, and really be the front runners to say, you know what, I figured it out. Because if you stay on something too long, it all becomes scramble and you lose direction on where you was actually trying to troubleshoot, period. Say Bud and Spence is not a big PPV. And that's what I was trying to explain about the lucrative aspect. The OG was saying when it comes to people investing their money, because that's what happened, it's not lucrative for them to do it. It's not lucrative. I know that flew high over, but when you speak to people that's involved, I'm talking about involved with the rotation. They're involved. And I present them. Unfortunately, a lot of it was missed because certain individuals didn't have enough respect to listen and peep game and get the knowledge. It happens all the time. People just don't want to listen to certain people. And then, a person like myself bring the knowledge up, bring one of my sources up who's deep in the game, and they tell you it's not lucrative. And all they know, once again, is simulation. They think of lucrative in one way, that it's not lucrative for them to fight. Oh, hell no. He don't know what the fuck you talking about. See, it went over your head. Because those type of conversations you're not having on a regular basis to know where the person was going with that. You're not privy to that. So you're just thinking one way on what he's saying lucrative. He wasn't talking about the popularity contest. He was talking about the people that's behind the scenes that has a lot to do with putting that money up. They don't want to do it. It's not black versus Mexican. It's not black versus Filipino. Just two black fighters who they're trying to say, okay, why should I invest my money in this fight? I mean, who cares if they popular on YouTube? Why should I invest my money in the fight? Listen, a lot of these cats don't have that Jerry Jones money. I'm just being honest, bro. A lot of them don't have that Jerry Jones money, man. It just is impossible. Pat said WCS, hypothetically, say the fight happens. How many PPVs do you think it would sell? Do you think it would do over 600K? This year right here has been the most that I actually talk about numbers. Once again, the only reason I really don't settle in to speaking about numbers is because it's a guessing game. It's something that I cannot grab hold to raw numbers, core numbers, and have people present them to me. I don't have that link. So I'm just guessing. Now, once I guess, there's going to be people out here that's quickly to break it down and say, you don't know what you're talking about. They'll sit up here and say, well, WCS say the fight does a minimum of 500,000. Then they're going to come up with all these other fights. They're going to say, oh, they're going to give you retreaded, regurgitated, obvious information like they love to do on YouTube. They're going to come up here and say, well, Terrence Crawford ain't doing this. Terrence Crawford ain't did that. But then they're gonna bring up all this. Oh, you know what Errol Spence did with Mikey Garcia. You know what he did with Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas. He's a pay-per-view star. But yet Jerry Jones is on record saying he purchased every seat for his fight against Carlos Ocampo. That was the fight before he stepped in there with Mikey Garcia at the AT&T. Now tell me, how do you reference his accountability when it comes to pay-per-view numbers if he didn't have nothing that you can go off of, no raw numbers to go off of before stepping in there for his first pay-per-view? Shout out to Teach on Deck. Appreciate the super chat. Much appreciated. One love to you, bro. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks, man. He said dropping knowledge. Appreciate that, man. You know, everybody think it's all about, all this. No, I like the group that's in here because, goddamn it, I tell you, I know most of the people that's in the chat comment. They make their rounds, and I pretty much understand that they're frequent. Every now and then you get the people that's spamming the shit and all that. You know what I'm saying? And people that show up every now and then. Hey, if they show up every now and then, they showed up. It's all good, bro. But I'm going to tell you one thing. They know WCS ain't no dumb nigga, though. They know that. They know I'm not dumb. I talk boxing and MMA with the best of them. When people see me in person, I'm not speaking like this. I'm not having a conversation like this. That's a fact. I'm just, ATL, you know what I'm saying? We talking. I'm not sitting up here digging into the goddamn Britannica. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up here swimming in vernacular, waves and shit, surfing through them ups. I'm not trying to be a verbalist when I'm in the company of people having an average conversation. But one thing I totally understand is that my perception, my interpretation of language came from way back, that they have defining words and then they have loose words. The loose words like agreed and looking, does not consummate anything. It doesn't. It doesn't consummate anything. All it is provide you with, hey, it has a potential. Oh man, they're getting closer. Closer? Closer doesn't mean it's finalized. Closer mean the direction is heading towards the target. You know what I'm saying? Closer to. You're getting closer to something. That doesn't mean you already there. Closer doesn't mean you have reached your destination. That's all I'm trying to say. Closing in on. It doesn't mean it's signed. Agreed. Doesn't mean it's signed. People hate to hear somebody, comment them and explain some shit like that when they trying to assume that something is already here. 55-45, it's official. Now, when you say that, 55-45, it's official, you're basically, once again, puppetizing the viewers and you saying 55-45, official. And then you write something else and put a question mark at the end of it. No, leave the question mark. Take full accountability for your title. Because if you're not taking full accountability and you adding a question mark, then when you get the skimmers put up, they read the first 55-45, official. Crawford Spence, signed. And then, according to what they can't see or choose not to see, the question mark is somewhere lurking on the back end of that shit. It's an art to every bit of deception. It's an art to it, especially on the YouTube shit. It's an art to this. Some people are so desperate that they have to become a part of the deception. And they believe the road they take in deceiving their viewers is going to provide them that little bit of success that's going to keep on building up and building up and building up and building up. And they believe that they continue to do the same thing, it's going to blossom into something very special. That's too much work. Seriously, because you got cats like me that's goddamn sitting in the shadows flicking a lighter. And then you're going to be like, who the fuck is that over there? Oh, shit. It's just like on Boys in the Hood. When they was sitting up there, goddamn, they was eating and Cube then was out on the stroll looking. That's me, man. I'm sitting there to cut just like, is that them niggas right there? You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting in the shadows, bro, flicking a lighter. I said, hey, what you talking about? What you talking about? You up here on some bullshit again. Like, come on, man. I just feel like in order for YouTube not to be a carnival, a bigger carnival than the way it is, I think the question mark posers should limit themselves to placing that in their title with misleading information. You are a grown ass adult. A grown ass adult. And you're sitting up here playing with the alphabet. You're putting a title up in there, and then you're going to close it down with a punctuation. You're playing. You're deceiving the viewers, man. You're deceiving them, especially on this title. Y'all have sit up here and abused the shit out of this damn title. Now, granted, I'll be the first to come on here and say, you know what? Cool. If something happens this week or, next week, that's not something I put out there. That's something that I'm going against the grain because I haven't read it anywhere else. All I'm saying is I hope that the announcement comes on the 4th of July. I don't care how it is announced. I just hope it happens because that means we now have an official announcement. It's not that I'm wrong because I say it was cap. It was fake news. It is fake news to me if I don't have no other secondary reference to bring it up on my platform and speak on it in the way that they're speaking on it. I haven't seen it. Nobody else has seen it. Why not Florida announce EJ or Crawford on his undercard against Conor to big Showtime PPV? Listen, okay, I understand that Floyd has said he was going to announce it and everything. I don't know how it benefits, but if it was at a moment like that, once again, I believe instead of the illumination shining down on Crawford Spence, I just think Florida kind of take that over and make it about him. I think when it's announced, it would be good if both of them are in the same proximity at a fight, a big fight. We don't have a lot of big fights that's coming up right now. You know what I'm saying? Canelo and Triple G is not the place to announce Crawford Spence. It's not. It's not. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not. Because people can't relate to that connection. They can't relate to that shit. It has to be big names. There's not too many out there, except, Florida's still a big name. But I wouldn't want that to happen because he would make it about him. You know what I'm saying? Solid point, though. Solid point there, Velocity. You know what I'm saying? That'll be the only way both EJ and Crawford make the big dollars they want. Now, if it goes off, you know what I'm saying, and it hits the airwaves that it's been announced and everything, because, look, we don't know for sure that Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather is going to happen. At the present time, Floyd Mayweather is supposed to be going overseas for another exhibition bout. Now, we already know he already went up there and demolished one Japanese MMA mixed martial artist, Tenshin Nashikawa. He destroyed him. He's going over there to fight another mixed martial artist. And we can assume, you know what I'm saying? We can only assume what's going to happen. It's a boxing exhibition. It's not a mixed martial arts match. So I don't know. I don't know how to dial that in. I don't know. But then they talking about Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather 2. If that is the case, it'll be too late to get the promo out on Spence Crawford for this year. This needs to be out just like we knew Spence was fighting Urdinas Ugas. This needs to be out months ahead of time so we can communicate and talk about it and build it up as much as we possibly can through our social media. It absolutely has nothing to do with, the amount of pay-per-views is going to be sold. People are going to listen who they listen to, but ultimately, what evidence do we have to go off of when it comes to YouTube? We don't have no evidence. We don't have no stat sheets. We don't have no stat sheets on YouTube building up a fight. None. Zero. We don't have it. Big fights tonight. No promoter will want to pay all four guys plus Spence and Crawford wouldn't dare fight before the clown show. Well, let me see. He said, why not Florida announce EJ and Crawford on his undercard against Conor? I just when I read that, Velocity, I just skipped over that because when you're saying that EJ and Crawford on his undercard, I was thinking that you just talking about the announcement because I'm trying to get through the chats. But no way in hell EJ and Crawford's gonna fight on a Conor McGregor Floyd undercard, bro. Stop the cap. Hell no. Hell to the no, bro. He ain't fighting on no Conor McGregor who's old and whatever in boxing. Is he like 0-1? And just to think, Conor McGregor boxed as an amateur, man, before he turned into a mixed martial artist. He found out that wasn't going nowhere, and he changed over to be a mixed martial artist. That's fact, bro. That's history. Lee on deck. What's good? What's popping, WCS? What's popping with you, bro? Floyd versus McGregor doesn't do the same business the second time around. Still big numbers relative to the times, but not as much as the first fight. It doesn't even come close. It doesn't even come close. It doesn't even come close, man. It doesn't even come close to those numbers that they did. Look, the pay-per-view ticket, the price point doesn't even come close to what it was the first time they met. It doesn't even scratch, even sniff those numbers. You know why? Primarily because Conor McGregor has been incapable of ascending up to the point of notoriety that he had when he was a champ. Conor McGregor was sitting at the pinnacle. I'm talking about the idolatry of mixed martial. He's the first one to become champ in the UFC. He was the first one. He was the first one, man. That dude went up there and fought what is considered legendary freaking murderous row of fighters, knocking out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, defeating, having a rubber match with damn Nate Diaz at welterweight now. At welterweight, bro. He went, look, this is what legendary about that shit, not to get off topic, but I think I've hit a lot of wickets on this topic, right? He went from 45 up to 70, bro. Who does that? Even though he was subbed out in the first one, he came back and won the decision, dropped back down and fought Eddie Alvarez and knocked him out. So when he got off on Ronda Rousey's coattail and started talking shit about Floyd, it was perfect. That shit was absolutely perfect timing because Conor McGregor was he wasn't freaking undefeated. Before he came over to the UFC, he had 2 losses. It wasn't like he was undefeated, but he had ascended, he had climbed a legendary ladder, which put him pretty much at that time like in the pantheon of mixed martial arts, bro. And Floyd Mayweather let him do and say whatever he wanted to fucking do, charged $100 to y'all, because I didn't pay no $100. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't pay $100 for that. I went to a fight party. He went in there and carried Conor McGregor and stopped him in the 10th round. Perfect. Genius. And what was Floyd Mayweather's costume? What was his ring attire, rather? When he walked to the ring, what was his ring attire? That tells it all right there. What was his ring attire? Fighters be having too much pride as well, making promoters call their non-competitive fights co-mains. And nigga, that shit's on the undercard fight. Hey, man, you got to build up these fighters, man. Fighters, they go through a full contact sport where they want to be appreciated sometimes. They want to be appreciated, man. They go in there and put all this damn training in, and they walk out, and they don't have that Rolly Romero shock on their face. Come on, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know when Rolly Romero walked out to face Gervonta? You see how he was looking around? He said, oh, my God. They're cheering for me. Rolly has been on record as saying he sold out the Barclays. Man, shout out to Rolly, dog. He is absolutely comical. Real talk. Rolly is, look, in a lot of ways, Rolly is the truth. Not a lot of people fucking with Rolly Romero. He's that guy that is very unorthodox when it comes to the way he walked through life. The way he fight his battles in life is unorthodox because we see him on the interview with Brian Custer. He had a sense of humor. He was jovial. You know what I'm saying? He just gave you the different side of Rolly. When he walked out to the ring with Gervonta, he was looking all around and he was in awe. People, he was like, wow, look at all these people. Unbelievable. And they all cheering for me. Look, Rolly Romero thought that shit into existence, bro. Rolly Romero believed it. Rolly Romero said that he just made a mistake. Now he's insinuating that it's going to be a rematch. He didn't give a date. He said it's going to be a rematch. Rolly said that. So I can quote what Rolly said. I didn't say the shit's been signed. Rolly said it's going to be a rematch. He said he was dominating the fight. He was beating Tank ass, and he just got caught. He said he sold out the arena. He said he did, not me. He said he did. He said he's one of the best fighters. Who am I to argue with Rolly, man? We all seen what happened. I don't have to argue with someone like Rolly after seeing what happened in the ring. You know what I'm saying? We seen him get closed out viciously. And after he recovered from that and everything else, he was at the next fight, the whatchamacallit, and he was taking pictures with everybody. And he was saying that it's more people that support him after going in there with Tank than they did before he stepped in there with Tank. I can believe it. Key bitch say nice try. I got to give Velocity. He did, because I'm going through this shit and I just, like I said, snapshot that motherfucker because I'm trying to get through my damn chats. But no, Velocity. No. Hell no. Good catch. I had to give Mitch his credit. But hell no, they ain't being no undercard or no Mayweather Connor. Please, that's an insult, dog. What's going on, Steven? He said, check. Okay, let me see what you're talking about. What DM are you talking about, man? What DM are you talking about? What DM are you talking about? DM, look. DM mean what? PM DM. What does DM? What DM are you talking about? Let me go to here. I thought that went it because I ain't see a notification. I don't know what DM you're talking about, man. Floyd versus Jake Paul is the fight to break the bank. Jake's size and age will have people thinking he has a chance. Put Francis versus Fury as a co-main. If somebody wants to finance that, which that can be financed, Jake Paul, that can be financed, okay? That makes a little bit more sense than Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fighting on a Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd is retired, and Conor McGregor is finding his path, you know what I'm saying, through the whiskey train, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Showtime, man. Showtime in the building. What's good? He said ski mask. Absolutely. He was in for a heist, man. He was in for a heist. Real talk. I have plenty of World Combat Sports DMs, so I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Social media, Facebook, IG, Twitter, email, I don't know. But Floyd and Jake Paul has proven that he has money. Okay? So that ain't an issue. Jake Paul has proven he has, and Floyd went in there and basically gave Logan Paul everything he wanted. Now, once again, let me layer some shit for you, right? Let me put the blanket up and goddamn, so you can get nice and cozy on this. When Logan Paul fought KSI, Jake Paul wasn't even in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul wasn't even in the picture. KSI defeated Logan Paul. They have since become co-business partners for this brand of water, but they made money together. And you had real boxers on their undercard. Real boxers, because Eddie Hearn wanted to be one of the first to do this in this era. It's not the first time, but he wanted to be the one to do it. And the reason why he didn't reciprocate it, he said he wanted to be considered a boxing entity and not some a promotion or whatever that's putting on these exhibitions and these unrealistic fights. So when Logan Paul went in there and lost against KSI, nobody was talking about Jake Paul. Nobody. Until near the end of the pandemic, heading into the next year. That's when Jake Paul name started to come out, and they said, let's promote Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? Because he's calling out people and this, that, and the other. And he's been in the gym training. And he want people to take him serious. And that's around the time that Triller was basically accepting applications for a fight like Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? He fought a YouTuber named Gibbs, right? And then when Triller started to make their rise, what happened? They put Jake Paul on there with Nate Robinson, a basketball player, y'all. A professional basketball player. And when he knocked Nate Robinson out, who thought he was running through the hole in a football game, people was looking at that shit like, oh my God, Jake Paul is the guy. He's the shit. He can't be stopped. That's what we live in. For real. That's the world we live in, man. One of these guys are going to catch Floyd slipping sooner or later. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it either. But one thing about these fights that Floyd is a part of is that they're exhibitions, man. They don't go on his record. Long as you don't touch that O. That's all he wants you to know. Take a look at my O. That's all I want you to know. Just take a look at it. What it look like? You know numbers, right? I know where you're going. No. Hold up. Because see, you asked to interview me. I ain't asked to interview you. When you look at my record, do you see an O on the right side? Well, hold, just answer the question. Hold on, answer the question. Do you see an O or not? Yes. Okay. You identify. You see an O. We don't have nothing else to talk about. That's Floyd. We don't have nothing else to talk about. But Floyd, hold up for a second. Hold up for a second, Floyd. Though you was fighting an exhibition bout, in reality, you lost in the exhibition. But hold up, here we go again. We talking about a man who has many trades but a master of none. Once again, we talking about a man who speak on Floyd Mayweather, who's out here the biggest pay-per-view seller, the money maker, all that. Now, what part you didn't understand when you read it was an exhibition? Have you seen an exhibition count on a box rec as a professional sanctioned bout? No. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So therefore, if I did come up short, I ask you once again, what do the right side of my record look like? Tell me what number you see to the right side of my box rec. What do you see? Just tell me the number. That's all I want to know. That's Floyd, man. That's the conversation you're going to have, bro. Rolly simple ass had to look at a replay in the locker room to realize what actually happened. He did, man. He did. It's now never for EJ versus Crawford. It's now never, but definitely they're not going to fight on the goddamn Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather undercard, bro. That ain't happening, Velocity. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. Let me see what you're talking about. Why would anything be on Facebook? Let me see. I don't see anything over here. And if y'all want to, reach out to me, please, by all means, hit me up on IG. Let me see what this is about. Okay, what was that supposed to say though? What is that saying, Steven? What does that mean, bro? Steven, what does that mean? Absolutely nothing. That's the whole look, that's the whole entire process of my life. What does that mean though? Nothing. They said be patient. I mean, you're doing like a lot of people. They reaching out, they sending emails. Oh, I'm excited for the fight. This that. It means nothing, Steven. Nothing. Zero. That thread of communication is exactly what I'm talking about. They didn't let on to nothing. They just said be patient. Be patient. They're not letting you on to anything because the fight haven't been announced, man. When Rolly called out Tank, I thought he was trying to finesse a bag. But when he fought him, you could tell he believed he could beat him. Gotta respect it. Yeah, he thought. Seriously. Sent you a message on Facebook. Appreciate you sending the message. But that's the whole preface of my live, man. Pretty much that's all that you're getting. Look, I'm not saying it's impossible to basically finally surface and become official. I'm not saying it's impossible. But the same communication, I know people at PBC, I know people at Top Rank. Whenever I want to find out some information and it's off record, it's off record. I'm not gonna put it on record when they said it was off record. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do it. And people are very apprehensive about dropping info that haven't been officially released, man. And that's exactly what's going on in that thread. They say be patient. Being patient can mean this shit can be announced in July. It can be announced in August. It depends on how much money they're willing to put in the promo. Because once the fight is announced, they definitely got to have some press tours. This is huge. They got to have some press tours, bro. They have to have the press tours like Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury had in their first fight. They was everywhere. They was freaking everywhere, bro. They at least got to have a minimum of 2 press tours, and then have a final presser on fight week. This is a huge fight, man. They gotta travel. They gotta come down to the A, Shawty. You gotta come down here to the dirty South and goddamn let us be a part. You know what I'm saying? This is Black Hollywood down here. Come down here and have a presser, dog. Man, you know damn well that shit'll be lit. Bring Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford down here to the A. Have a presser, and then take them up somewhere else. Of course, not Texas. Okay, mark that. Strike that off the list. Not Texas. Texas already had their share of Errol Spence. They needs to go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It needs to go somewhere else. Definitely ATL #1 for a presser. And then, who knows? We always got to say, take it up to California on the West Coast for a presser. Okay? Go for the East Coast, ATL, West Coast, LA, whatever. Go to LA, have them. That should be a huge turnout. You know what I'm saying? And then have a final presser in Vegas on fight week. Rolly ain't really believe that bullshit he was kicking. Shit looked suspect when Tank was in his face at the first press. No, man. I think Rolly believed that he can go in there. He was much stronger. Man, he believed it, bro. That's one thing I give Rolly credit for. You talking about he's a judo black belt. Rolly believed he was stronger than Tank. He believed he was bigger than Tank. He believed he was gonna go in there and knock him out, man. Rolly Romero believed that. I will credit him for that. Real talk. In his mind, he believed he was all that. When he was talking that shit about knocking him out in the first round, he didn't believe none of that. But he felt that he would eventually work himself up to the knockout. He thought he would catch him, and he did catch him. He called him so much to the point where Gervonta said, hey, I felt this power. He can hit. He got power. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to, pay him a lot of attention right now, but I'm going to come back later in the fight. I'm going to get him. Yeah, that's pretty much what Tank was saying. Like, I'm not going to fuck with him when he's strong. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let him put some minutes in, deplete some of that damn that cock strong energy he got, and then let him get comfortable, set some traps for him, and then yak him. Down goes Rolly. Down goes Rolly. I pick Rolly over Ray Ray, Queen Sombrero, Gran Lagora, El Capion. For real, man. For real. Hey, Steven, you say they playing games. You know what? I can't say you might be wrong. I can't say that even, because what boxing does, I say boxing is what? Hocus pocus. Hocus pocus, right? I said boxing is hocus pocus, man. They want you to believe something. They want you to just put all this energy into something, man. Look, when I hear a fight is going to be made in mixed martial arts, I believe it. Motherfucker, I believe it. I believe it. When they say a fight going to be made, they don't play around and say, oh, big fight news. Only boxers do that shit. Big fight news. Big fight news. Man, mixed martial arts, they pretty much, when they fighting, the fighters will be up there saying, hey, I look forward to fighting so-and-so. Dana White, make the fight. And Dana White is not the matchmaker. They say, Dana White, make the fight, make the fight. I want to fight so-and-so. And then, hey, lo and behold, a lot of times that fighter gets to fight with that person. Real talk. They get to fight with them. Look how many tough names that Adesanya's had. Look how many tough names that Khabib Nurmagomedov end up having. Look at Volkanovski stepping back in there with Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying? Look, check this out. Look at Davidson Figueroa and Brandon Moreno at flyweight. Look how many times these guys fought. That shit's crazy. Just check it out. Look how many times they fought, man. Look how many killers Tyrone Woodley, when he was reigning champion, that he fought at welterweight. Mikey trying to create some relevance by fake retiring. He said the fight is not in October. Hey, Steve, I get it, bro. But see, listen, if I continue to come on here and not debunk, but refute, because in order for me to debunk, people have to me, I have to find some type of validation in it or something. I have to find some type of validation in it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. I see what you're saying. When he said nope, I see what you're saying. Like that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Like, look, I call it fake news until somebody else has a reference out here. Somebody else's. That's not even a word. I'm looking for else's. Somebody else's. I want to look. Somebody else can be somebody, just one person, but if you add an S on it and it's slang, and do it intentionally. The slang intention. Somebody else is out there. I need to see the else's and them talking about it that has a platform that's connected to the dang promotions or the networks. I want to see them talk about it. Him saying nope or whoever you was communicating with, once again, appreciate the info. You know what I'm saying? Because that just proves my point. The people who I spoke to, they continue to say, okay, where are they seeing this fight date at? For them to sit up here and say it's October, where's the fight date at on the calendar? Where is it? I'm not saying it's not possible. It may be highly possible it's in October, but I haven't seen anything. I'm just listening to people say it's going to be October this date and all that. So listen, why get bits and pieces of the information without spreading the news so people can start making reservations? Why not tell us what week, Why speak to a person and not be able to get the full jacket of information so people can start making reservations, making their flight arrangements, and everything else is going to attend the fight? Why give us little crumbs, man? Yeah, Custer said it's looking, does Steven. It's looking. It's looking. Looking don't define anything. It just makes it a subject matter. That's all looking does. Looking just said, okay, I'm linking this up to October. I'm giving it a little bit of identity that, the direction is looking like it's heading in the direction of October. Now, if he would have said it's going to be, then maybe we can say, okay, for sure. Brian Custer said it's going to be in October. And the reason why I say that is because I just broke some news to you. They felt it was okay, so I just broke some news to you. They said it was going to be in October. And if he would have said some shit like that, I wouldn't even come on here today and have a problem with it, because Brian Custer is a reputable voice and an entity, and a his platform. You know what I'm saying? He's absolutely official. But I still have to reference and find out somebody else is talking about it. Mikey putting retired on Twitter is the same as Clambozo putting undisputed on his. Man, hey, I said Teofimo Lopez was undisputed, so I got to go with Cambozo being undisputed too. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Mikey Garcia announcing his retirement, and now he gets to, see the rise of Bam Rodriguez, Franco, aka Jesse James. Shit. Like, nobody is really paying attention to Mikey Garcia's retirement. They already thought he was retired. Mikey will be back after Spence becomes undisputed and vacate all the titles, though. Spence ain't becoming no goddamn undisputed. That's all a dream. That's all that is. Baby. One of these sanctioning bodies will give Mikey a shot at a vacant title once the belts are vacated by Spence. Now, that is highly possible, because I know they're trying to get Mikey Garcia a fifth division. Just like Canelo's going to get a fifth division, y'all. Canelo's going to get a fifth division. Believe me. He's 31 years old. Canelo is going to get a fifth division. It's just got to be the right time. He's going to end up getting a fifth division. Look, I know you might have some type of communication with that team, but man, I do not trust the play dumb game that they do, man, because a lot of teams play that. They ain't gonna announce. I wouldn't take that for nothing. They're gonna play games. They're gonna sit up here and act like they don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. If Crawford wins, they look at YouTube. They love when we scrambling around, talking about the fight, because it keeps their fighter relevant. That's just the way it is. If Crawford wins, I don't think he'll vacate all the titles. I think he'll attempt to be undisputed simultaneously and challenge Mel Charlo as super welterweight. We'll see. I mean, he already been undisputed. So to do it simultaneously, just by moving up to 154, that'll be absolutely amazing. Velocity said big wish. The big wish. You know what I'm saying? The big wish. Please, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you donate to the Big Wish Foundation. I talked to Derek and Bomac. Derek hasn't been told anything yet. Bomac is the one that is saying is coming. So, he may be right. Bomac, if he's saying it's coming, still doesn't say it's going to be at a specific month in October. So, being that they always refuse to actually release information without it actually being released by the promoter first. That's just the way it is, man. Like I mean, regardless, that's just the way it is. That's the format for which they go about when it comes to release information being released. That's the format they take, man. They don't really provide us any type of information ahead of time. It don't happen. It doesn't happen, man. Sometimes, I didn't say it don't happen, period, but sometimes it does, according to who you talk to. And also, it's according to the magnitude of the fight. Spence versus Crawford would do damn near 20 million views on TV. Man, they need to do some shit on PPV and get that money, that back end money. Mikey might even swallow his pride and take a regular belt. Why not? At welterweight, shut everybody else counting that shit. Hey, why not? It's plenty of fighters, to include Floyd Mayweather, who did that. Showtime say, if you know, you know. That's what they do. For real, that's what they do. They sit up here and hold information, and they time release the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we little ants. You know what I'm saying? You see ants crawling around, and you just drop a little bit of food in that motherfucker, they attack it. Man, that's just what it is with the information release. They time release that shit, dog. They have you scrambling around, making thumbnails, and coming here like you about to drop fresh content. Breaking. And then they want to put all the question marks, the blunt force trauma from question marks. Crack, crack, crack. They be cracking their viewers over the head with question marks. The fight is official. It's been signed. And then off to the far right, question mark. Then identify another poser. The question mark poses are real, people. The question mark poses are real on YouTube, man. It's all for views. Now, if somebody's getting mad about putting a question mark, and you mad because I'm just speaking in an open scope, then hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell y'all. If y'all mad at me talking about the question mark poses, you just allow me to believe that y'all feel some type of way about this thumbnail. You believe there's some truth in the question mark poses, man. The ones who put out here and put defining information and then they separate it with a question mark. That means it has some truth to it. Conor Ben versus Mikey Garcia, man, I really don't want to see that fight. I really don't want to see that. I want to see Conor Ben step in there with a big name. Sucks because don't know what the prices are going to be for the flights and room. I haven't brought anything yet. Waiting for the official date. That's a lot of people. Hold up. My program isn't just. Okay, I have to get back to that later. That's a lot of us, man. A lot of us are like trying to beat the clock. All right, everybody's trying to beat the clock. Everybody's trying to sit up here and make reservations ahead of time before the room skyrocket. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all when the announcement is made. The messed up part about this in its entirety is that we don't know. We know it might be in Vegas for sure. We don't know the location. We don't know if it's going to be at the T-Mobile. Is it going to be at Allegiance? We don't know, right? So you can make a reservation according to the fight being in Vegas. But if the fight comes out and you made a reservation for October, then you change that reservation to November or whatever the case may be. You're still going to get a price hike. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get a price hike now that the fight is announced and you was just gambling. You know what I'm saying? Because you was headed to Vegas, you was gambling on the fight date and it comes out it's in November. You got to cancel that reservation, then make a new reservation. And then don't think for 1 second, one blink, don't think for one iota, right? That these promotions don't already know ahead of time, whenever that information is, they don't already know where this fight is going to take place, and they're going to reserve a block of rooms before we even hear any of the information. They're already reserving rooms up there. So look, you think the casino don't know that the fight is taking place? We up here all anxious. Oh my God. Oh my God. Time the fight is announced. They already reserving rooms. They're not going to reserve rooms when the fight is announced. They're doing this shit preamble. They're being proactive and they reserving rooms already because they are priority, y'all. They are the priority. You know, Showtime will tell you he's been in that, you know, you know, that travel, that format of travel when they reserve the rooms for the fighter and the team. They have to take care of them first. They have to take care of the staff. And then once that is all taken care of and they have gotten those numbers and everything together, then they're going to announce it. By then, the casinos are already jacked up the prices, man. They don't damn put the inflation in there. And you're saying, oh my God, the rooms here is what? Look, any hotel that is close to the venue, especially the host hotel, the prices are going to double, man. The promotions is going to get there first without a care in the world because they've been there, done that already. They don't care. They had big fights in Vegas before. This is nothing new. They're gonna go over there. They're gonna set the damn block of rooms. They're gonna get that figured out, confirmed, finalized. That is it. Once that block of rooms is finalized and everybody, you know, within that promotion, whoever's handling that side of the administrative work and logistics, boom, they're gonna say, okay, cool. They're gonna go back, making sure everything is good. They're gonna announce the fight. We're gonna come scrambling and flying in and shit like goddamn crows on damn roadkill. Hello, operator. Can I get a room? Can I get a room? Military. Can I get a military discount? Please, I need one. Hurry up. They're going fast. I need a room. Please don't tell me it's sold out. Please. Because look, a lot of people want to stay at the host hotel, man. The host hotel is going to be expensive. Well, I just need to buy a flight ticket. I got family stay in Vegas. Hope they drop the official date. Yeah, that's all of us, man. For real. He said, question mark, too far to the right. I'm calling them out, man. They can't come in here and get mad off a simple action. This is what I'm talking about how people sensitive on this shit. Look, you got people that feel so hurt about me calling them out on the question mark when I didn't mention their name. I'm just mentioning the action, bro. I'm just like they go on live and talk about this, that, and the other, and talk about subliminally this happened, that happening. I'm talking about the question mark posers, man, who's sitting up here putting titles up for views, who's putting shit on there, and they're doing it more frequently because I'm talking about it. Real talk. You're not making me upset. You're not. That's your shit. You're not making me upset. You're not making me upset. I'm just putting it out to the masses that you're deceiving them by putting out information as if it's finalized, if it's solid, if it's confirmed, and then you separate yourself from confirming the information with a motherfucking question mark. That's childish. I find it juvenile, to be honest. I find it like us being in grade school, and you know what I'm saying? And there's certain things that we should be way past in grade school. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things we should already know in grade school, bro. You want to get up and leave the room, you raise your hand. You know what I'm saying? When you have an assignment, you put your name at the top of the sheet of paper. That's all I'm saying. You put your name. You put your name at the top of the sheet of paper so the teacher can know that's your assignment. She can grade it and she can give you credit for it. But what I see right here with the titles, you want to get full credit, but yet you want to separate yourself from something that you know that you're not the source of information. You want to be a part of that credit. You want to get 95%. You want to get an A on it, but then there's a question mark back there. So you want to play around and say, I put a question mark on that. I never told you. I know you didn't read it all. I never told you it's 55-45. It's rumor mill. If you listen to this, is what they're gonna tell you. If you listen to my video, I said it's rumor mill that is 55-45. I said, what about your title? Nope. If you look all the way to the right, you'll see that question mark standing in the alley in the dark, posing. If you didn't see that question mark, that ain't my fault, bro. You should have brought a flashlight. It ain't up to me to help you read, bro. How old are you? Then they're going to try to question your damn intelligence. How old are you? You can't read? How many characters is the title? I'm telling you, bro, don't fall for it. Showtime say they don't know about getting a promotion price. That's Sauce Experience cooking them in that grease. For real, man. They do not know, man. They don't know there's different prices, man. And shout out to Showtime for looking out. The promotional prices, god damn. That fish be coming out crispy. That shit be coming out crispy, so soft, it just be goddamn falling. That filet, I tell you. Hey, it tastes way better than a cold cut, that Showtime. Cause look, when you get that room and it's not promotional price, you gotta got no food vouchers either. You gotta go get some cold cuts, though. Yeah, give me the 3 cold cuts for $2, please. Yeah. Oh, god damn, I ain't trying to eat no cold ass food. I'm low on funds. God damn. I'm gonna be up there getting cold cuts, dog. How much is the hot meal? Oh, that'd be $18. Oh shit. How much is the cold cuts? Oh, that's 3 for 2. Oh yeah, okay. All right, cool. Give me 10 of those. I'm just gonna keep them out there room temperature. Hope they cool down a little bit and I can get some bags of Lay's chips. You know what I'm saying? Some Fanta soda. I gotta survive, man. I fly out Sunday. I gotta survive. I gotta motherfucking survive, man. I did get the promotional price. Shit. God damn it. But anyway, I'm not sitting up here trying to, be antagonistic, but hopefully something was learned from it. And if you feel some type of way about being a question mark poser, I could care less, bro. Because look, this shit ain't personal to me. I'm just talking about what I see out here on YouTube, man. Nobody else want to talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. It's an injustice for you all to consider yourselves true media, right? And you're basically speaking about boxing as if it's scripture. You know what I'm saying? You want people to believe it like it's scripture, right? But yet the norm is you put the cover and it says Holy Bible on it. But when you crack an oath, it's nothing but porn. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're not being true to yourself. You don't treat you don't have friends that you want to treat you like that. You don't do it within your own people, your own family circle. You don't deceive people like that. But yet you get on here in your second, your double life. You get up here in your double life where you on here on YouTube and you're doing it just for views. If you desperately need views like that, you need to second guess your occupation. Maybe you need to spend less time on YouTube and you need to be working on a retirement plan. I'm serious, bro. Like, all y'all out there, if you want to sit up here and be question mark posers and you got to go through desperate measures to put fake ass, phony, fraudulent titles up here and put question marks across all this, that, and the other in order to, and look, in order for your adult audience to click and listen to what you have to say, you need to then rethink what you got going on right now. You need to say, you know what? all this bullshit that I'm doing, I need to reconsider. I need to go out here and find an alternative, second job, so I can start working towards a retirement along with what I already have going on. YouTube is not a retirement, bro. YouTube is not a retirement. I'm gonna drop some harsh reality to you. YouTube isn't gonna get you retired. If you're sitting up here dropping fraudulent information, you're not gonna be able to do what Ness and TBV has did. He was able to work the right angles and basically have a spreadsheet. He had a compass on where he was trying to go with this, and he was able to make it to that point. TBV is absolutely separated themselves from just being an average YouTube channel. They are what you call official now. They have a team, they have a budget. Him and Danny's up there having interviews and people tuned in. They have separated. They have levitated themselves from the rhetoric of YouTube, boxing. They have separated themselves. They're having people coming into their freaking, their theater and being able to speak with them. They have a budget where they can have this fighter come in and then they can send one of them to this place, that place. That's called changing levels right there. A lot of y'all is putting up being question mark poses. You're never going to get to that. And look, how did TBV able to make it and levitate before you? And some of y'all was on here before me. Some of y'all was on here before TBV. But yet, look at it. His shit's done totally changed levels right now. I'm not trying to be that. I like my freedom to come and go as I please. Kudos to Ness for getting that shit. But I'm trying to tell you, no matter how many question marks you put on that motherfucker, it's never going to get you the revenue in accordance to the views that you think. That's just a harsh reality coming from somebody who can articulate this shit to you. And it may make you frown up. It may call, look, I know y'all calling me nigga behind the scene. I know y'all. I hear you already. That black ass nigga, fuck him. I hate his ass. Look, it's not personal. I'm just telling you, y'all question mark poses, y'all will never get to that point because people are not going to invest money in you. They're not going to take you serious. I hope that didn't mess up your year. But y'all continue to talk about my numbers. Y'all continue to not understand what I have going on, how I'm able to come on here whenever I freaking feel like it. You know what I'm saying? WorldCombatSports.com out there, man. Go check out the content. All the articles out there I wrote, all the content is mine. Check me out on Facebook. I know. It's look, that behavior of hating, I don't have nothing to do with that. I show love to the ones who should be loved. You know what I'm saying? Who should be loved respectfully. You know what I'm saying? You show love to the ones who should be loved because they're out here doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? It's people out here doing the shit the right way. But if you think for 1 second, while you're getting agitated with WCS telling you some real live facts, if you think you have to depend on a question mark to get your hundreds of thousands of views, knowing damn well that YouTube takes 30%, then Uncle Sam steps in and he takes off his cap and he say, Don't you even think about it. Give me that 6%. Give me that 6%. All right, cool. All right, that's what I thought. And then you take the rest home. If you're living off YouTube and you have this huge freaking portfolio where you're gonna say, you know what, I'm getting rich off YouTube. Jake Paul did it. Keem Bash did it. You know what I'm saying? Keem Bash did it. YouTube is getting saturated as we speak. Just a PSA, y'all. YouTube is getting saturated. It's saturated already. You now have fighters who are just, considered to be just a fighter back in the day. Put them in the ring and box and be quiet. They are now starting up their own podcast and they are allowing people to hear them speak. So for them to come and have an interview on our platform, it's going to take a lot. And let me tell you another thing. Some of these fighters, they want you to pay them. They're not going to put it out here. I know firsthand. Some of these fighters want you to pay them. And you know who you are. You know who you are. You know the conversation we had. They say, hey, well, so and so, he's not doing that for free no more. They just told us to cut off the YouTube channels here and this, that, and then you say, well, I do the interview for this amount right here. Okay, cool, we can do that. I'm serious. I'm not here to bust anybody's bubble, because if you had a bubble here on YouTube and you think you're going to be financially set in this YouTube community, the whole entire foundation, it will take you a lot. Like, it'll take you a lot to be set. And then when you get set and you live in a certain lifestyle, you got to continue to make that money. And I'm telling y'all, if y'all have 50 to 100,000 subscribers, right? If they donated $1, just $1, if every one of those 100,000 subscribers donated $1 each month, you wouldn't have to be on here doing videos. You'll just be able, look, all you have to do is do a video a week. Let's do a video a week. Keep them waiting. Come in on Friday. They say, oh my God, I can't wait to so-and-so come on. Boom. You come in, do a video on Friday, and then must just start dropping donations. And what's even better, if they drop some of it in Cash App, and they drop some of it, in Super Chat, the real ones that really want to mess with you, why don't they drop it on Cash App? Y'all haven't figured that out yet? Look, if you tell your viewers, you don't tell them, first of all. Some people tell them. Some people tell them. But when people volunteer and they drop a super chat, yeah, you should be grateful. Much appreciated. But then a portion of that is extracted from YouTube. Cash App would be great. That's all. That's all I'm saying, man. Big up the Boxing Voice. They're big biz and sauce now. Yes, sir. The Boxing Voice has levitated, bro. They have levitated to a whole nother stratosphere when it comes to this YouTube dynamic. They have moved on. They're no longer on the YouTube launch pad. They are up and away. They have took flight. You can see it. You can see it in their thumbnails. The material, the content that they're putting out. They have a team of people who make the phone calls to these fighters. The fighters, show up. They're waiting out there in the waiting room. Oh man, it's changed. So my question to y'all, I'm not hating. My question to y'all, like, what is your forecast? Like, what goals do you have set with the question mark? If indeed you become rich off the question mark, I commend you. I commend you. Furthermore, if you're able to become rich off the question mark, you need to write a small book on how it actually happened to further get proceeds residually on how to become rich off YouTube off the question mark. I'm kicking some real shit to you. You might be, like I said, you might be highly upset, but I'm saying, like, you need to write a book on how to become wealthy off the question mark while being a YouTube media podcast. Somebody need to talk about the dang question mark. I'm trying to give y'all some freaking gems, to help out financially, because, the way y'all saturating YouTube with these titles with question marks plastered, it takes me back, to learning the alphabet. You seem like people are amazed with simple shit. They're not. All they're looking at is like, okay, here we go again, another channel plastering question marks after a title. And then I know some people out there that really analyze this shit and say, you know what? Why they continue to do that? You don't see boxing scene doing that. You don't see Boxing News 24 doing this bullshit. You don't see ESPN doing that. Fox, CBS. No, you don't see none of that question mark shit. They saying, why this nigga trying to knock out Hustle? Because I can. I can, man. It's childish, bro. To all y'all that's doing this, it's childish, man. It's almost like y'all playing in a sandbox and y'all find some shit in the sand. Oh man, somebody dropped their blow pop, their ring pop. Man, they dropped their ring pop. I'm glad it's in the package. Let me break this open. Oh, it's cherry too. I like that. That's what it seems. Y'all like y'all playing in the sandbox in this motherfucker, man. Y'all playing that long enough, y'all gonna start getting cut. They got that broken glass in the sandbox, dog. I mean, come on, question mark poses, man. Stop it. Let me take that down. Because I don't want nobody goddamn being furious and sending in anonymous freaking complaints about question marks. Pass say, WCS, do you like Paulie Malignani's show with Roy Jones and Tarver? I like them as a trio. I like their commentary as a trio. I never hated Paulie for what he said. You know, if people trying to say he was racist and stuff like that. You know, if you look at what's going on as far as the Capitol situation, that's where you should raise an eyebrow and say to yourself, man, okay, is so-and-so going to be held accountable for shit that popped off? That's what I'm concerned about. The shit Paulie said, you know, anytime I seen Paulie in person, when he was with Showtime, he was cool. I even have pictures with him. He was cool. I mean, I chopped it up with Paulie on the streets in Brooklyn when he was with two of his fighters that had a I don't know if it's the Golden Gloves or the Silver or whatever it was. They had a tournament or whatever, and two of his fighters was up there. I walked up on him. He was cool. He didn't get standoffish and shit. He was just sitting up there chilling, man, on the rail. On the rail, he was just sitting up there chilling with some other people, and he chopped it up. And I said, "I appreciate that, Paul." He said, "No problem, brother." You know, I walked off. Now, of course, you know what Roy, man. Come on, man. You know what Roy. You know what it is. I don't have to explain to you about that. Now, for Tarver, I have a funny story about Tarver. I was down at the bare knuckle fighting, which they was trying to make him a part of, because Antonio Tarver, believe it or not, he can commentate pretty decent. He can. You know what I'm saying? He can commentate pretty decent, right? I had on my jury, right? The same jury that I was standing in Brooklyn when they was thinking about snuffing me. You know what I'm saying? They was thinking about canceling me out for that piece of jewelry on my neck, dog. And being that I recognized that shit from the ATL streets, I say, these young niggas trying to rob me, dog. I had that shit on. And I could put up the picture with me and Tara, right? I walked up to him. I say, hey, how you doing, champ? Can I get an interview right quick? He tells me, he say, yeah, but I'm not shouting out your record or anything. I was like, what? Dude, y'all, this is no cap. Antonio told me he thought I was some type of hip hop artist or something because I had that chain on. I said, man, I'm boxing media, bare knuckle fighting, mixed martial arts. I'm here to interview you. And we did the interview. But that was funny as hell when he said, I'm not shouting out your you know, he thought I was a hip hop artist, your song or whatever, because I had that big ass links on and shit. And it was funny that he said that. I was like, damn, I got stereotyped. I feel some type of way. I got profile like I was a hip hop artist. I don't give off that vibe that I'm a hip hop artist or a producer. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I just give off the vibe that I'm black. That's all. What's up, Alexander in the building? I don't shit on dudes for using question marks, but definitely don't be fucking with it. It's very easy to just ask a question. They were snatching chains at Tank versus Rolly fight Baltimore. Hey, I'm telling you, man, them youngins, I saw them. I peeped that shit out. I peeped that out. They came. It was Friday too. I'm up there standing on the block, just checking out the women, checking out the traffic and shit. And man, all these youngins start to gather, man, sizing me up. After it got up, it had to be over 30 of them motherfuckers out there. I said, if this was ATL, I wouldn't be worried about it, man. I'd be like, okay, I'd be a lot more comfortable. But since I was out in somebody else's damn spot, I said, let me step in here and see what's going on, this, that, and the other. All the while still keeping an eye on them youngest that was out there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. I had to put my shit inside, bro. I had to put my shit because why? It's difficult trying to explain people that may be out there just looking for a lick by all means necessary, and they don't want to hear that shit is fake. They'll still try to use the same type of aggressiveness to get something off of you. They still think that you might be, capping, a lying to them. And people go down for lesser shit, bro. Them youngins try to roll up on me and snatch my chain, dog. When I was in Brooklyn, shit. It was about over 30 of them motherfuckers. I ain't never seen so many black people come out the woodworks. I ain't gonna lie, no cap, man. Them youngins came out. A lot of these ex-fight. Hey, I had to be sitting out like, damn, look at that chain. That shit was goddamn reflecting off the sunlight. I ain't gonna lie. That shit was looking good. When I left the Barclays and went over and started walking the street and went up in this motherfucking next to this store, it was a wrap. They tore that arena up after the fight. Man, that's unfortunate, man. I went in the bathroom to get away from that stampede. That stampede was crazy. People was trying to climb in the bathroom stalls. Wow. Damn. That's crazy, man. I know it wasn't like that when Deontay Wilder fought Dominic Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was tuned in, getting content. I mean, it was lit up in there, but it wasn't no goddamn, fights all crazy. Even outside. We was chilling outside after the fight. That's when I seen Gilly the Kid, brother. I seen Swaggy P. Who else? Zab Judah, of course. I seen J-Rock out there. Man, there's a lot of cats out there hanging out on the block. That's why I think shit was the way it was. Like, they really had the block on lock, so to speak. Like, it wasn't no dumb shit going on. It wasn't. There was a lot of cats out there, man. Like, there was a lot of cats out there that day. A lot. Just chilling on the corner, man. So, of course, I was, okay, once again, shout out to Zab Judah. I always got to give Zab Judah his shine, because every time I want to interview, Zab give it to me, man. Like, in the Stewart Hotel, Zab dropped in. Down here in the A, Zab dropped. Brooklyn, I got to give it up to Zab, man. As far as Swaggy P, nah. Look, this dude act like I was trying to ask for, hey, man, you still got Iggy's number? Man, just give it to him, man. Just between me and you, just give me Iggy's number. Man, Swaggy P was so arrogant. I said, cool, man. I don't sweat that, man. Because sometimes in life, I was him. You know what I'm saying? I was arrogant too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't care. I was just, quiet, so to speak. But Swaggy P, yeah, couldn't get that interview. J-Rock, I was doing an interview. Then old boy scooped him up in the middle of my interview. I was like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? That interview was good too. And then, of course, Gilly the Kid, it was just difficult. Unless he knows you, he's not going to take that time out. It would have been good to get him, because they got a damn good podcast right now. And they doing motherfucking numbers. They got the Barstool freaking sponsorship and all that. Them guys doing some numbers, man. They They got the streets tuned in to their shit, bro. How that song went yesterday, Cappy, y'all home, and Cappy, y'all home, Cappy, y'all home, oh, Cappy, y'all home. He's Cappy, y'all home. Ron Line Garcia motivated the brother to do an impromptu to Cap. But hey, man, y'all know what it is. It's been like over 2. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to put it out there. I know people gonna continue to be upset, man, but you know, a person like me, they'll love it later. They'll love it later. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Gilly and Wallow killing it. Man, they're killing it, man. They're killing it. They got the sponsorship. Them brothers out there killing it, man. Man, they making crazy. I'm talking about they levitated. I look, to be honest, like the ones that's on this YouTube shit, they have to find a different way because this is like rudimentary. Like this is real old school MySpace type shit, the way they're going about it. Like for real. This reminds me of MySpace, sort of. This reminds me of dial-up connection, you know, with the you know, the way they go about putting titles and shit with question marks. Like Mitch said, just ask the question. But no. If you ask the question, it's the viewer is automatically gonna see why, what, you know what I'm saying? When they're gonna see all the prefixes that tells them, oh well, this is about something that isn't happening yet, or they trying to see if it's happening. Then it's official. Spence Crawford signed. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Pow, reload, question mark, question mark, question mark. Reload, question mark, question mark, question mark. Them be changing magazines, dog. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Reload. I'm serious, dog. Say no to the question mark posers, man. Tell them in the chat. Stop question mark posing, dog. You better than that. Stop question mark posing. You're not going to get rich off that. I want to see y'all levitate to a whole nother stratosphere by giving conducive content with your titles. If the bigger networks and segues out here they're not doing what you're doing, then you should think about it. Say, you know what? Maybe we should stop misleading and putting question marks in our titles and just put it out there and talk on it. Like a lot of us do. We just put the motherfucking description up there and speak on it. Why make a thumbnail? Sykes fight is signed 55-45 in October. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, reload, question mark. Stop it, dog. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. Y'all have full-time jobs, man. You have families. You have people who depend on you. What if they start tuning into your shit and say, hey, Papa, why so many question marks on your title? Because Miss Lawrence told us in school that if we complete a sentence and it's a question, we supposed to put the punctuation with one question mark at the end of it, Papa. Why do you have 3, 4, 5, 8, and 10 question marks on the end of your freaking thumbnail? And why are you describing something in your title as if it happened, but yet you put a question mark at the end? That's improper, Papa. That's improper. Let me crack this. Let me show you this book. This is our English book at school. Let me show you this. Let me turn to the page, Papa. I'm telling you, dog, your kids. I'm telling y'all, kids are gonna hold y'all responsible, man. They're gonna hold y'all accountable. For real. No question mark posing, man. Stop it. It's not gonna get you that check you're looking for. Real talk. It's not gonna get you the check you're looking for, man. It's not. You better than that. Y'all some educated individuals. Stop putting question marks in your shit for attention. There's many names that I can come up with, but I'm being polite. Stop question mark posing, man. Yeah, right, Mitch. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All they gotta see is disses, Gilly, and Wallow. Because the question marks are gonna goddamn fade off. They're gonna be all the way over to the right, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have their back up against the wall, just peeking around the corner. That's what them question marks do. They're gonna say, oh shit. Oh shit, let me call my people then. Hey Gilly, you know this motherfucker WCS on here, he was talking shit about y'all after the Wilder Brazil fight. For real? What's his channel name? Oh, it's right here. Don't mind them question marks though. I don't know how those got there, but look at that. They say World Combat Sports. This is Gilly and Wallow. Fuck them question marks. Don't read the question mark. Gilly gonna be like, man, stop it. That's not what I see. That's not, you trying to have me run down on somebody, and that's not what it was. Oh, my fault, man. I just see so many other people doing it, so I thought I'll let you know, Gilly. Nah, bro. Nah. I do not want that smoke. And you know what? When y'all pop up in there, man, I'm not gonna tell y'all anything to do. I'm not doing that, man. That's called trolling. But y'all know what it is. I think I made my point perfectly clear. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling y'all to go on an all-out crusade for the question mark posers out here. But I'm pretty sure they listening. They say what they want to say. It's good. They using energy to feel some type of way of anger. Okay, but I just don't understand it. If you're really good at what you do and you say you know this boxing knowledge shit, you don't need the question marks. If you got 100 people plus tuned into your channel, stop rocking the question marks, bro. That's faking. You faking, dog. All y'all that put all these question marks, you faking the funk, man. You're not gonna get rich off question mark posing. You're not. That's like MySpace and dial-up connection. That shit is antiquated, and it shouldn't be used to individuals who consider themselves educated. Until next time, man, y'all hold it down. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I appreciate y'all pulling